Welcome to the Authors Cafe. Today is Leap Day.
It is.
Which is excellent because our guest today is Leap Zone Strategies.
Very fitting.
Perfect tie-in.
Yep.
Isabelle is a branding expert, and I'm going to let Wendy introduce her. So, Wendy, you have the floor.
Okay. I'm really thrilled to welcome Isabelle to our talk today. I met Isabelle a couple of weeks ago at a networking meeting where she gave a talk, and I was really, really impressed with how much knowledge she has and just her willingness to share everything that she has kind of inside her. So as writers, we all want more readers. And wouldn't it be great if readers could just see how different you are from the competition?
Yes.
Yes, you'd be glad you're here. Our guest today co-founded her first business out of her teens and quickly turned it into a 7-figure creative firm without ever pitching an idea before getting hired. That's quite incredible in itself. She's one of North America's top small business influencers and is a fitness fanatic. From being an avid yogi to deadlifting over 250 pounds.
Oh my God.
Don't mess with her.
Don't mess with her.
I won't. I'll avoid her when I walk by her.
A lot of my friends say, you deadlift 250 pounds on purpose? Yes.
There's got to be a reason behind that. But
I don't know.
Okay. As a host of LeapTV.com and as one of the best-selling authors of the business and marketing book titled The Next Big Thing, Top Trends from Today's Leading Experts to Help You Dominate the New Economy, Isabelle's sole purpose as a brand builder and performance catalyst is to empower change and growth, helping us brand from the inside out, which I love that concept, to be the first, the best, and the only. Please join me in welcoming from Vancouver, brand builder, best-selling author, and motorcycle lover, Isabelle Mercier Turcotte.
Hey, I'm thrilled to be here. Honestly, I was looking forward to this.
Good. I'm so glad. I think we should just jump right in because we cover a lot of territory that way. And I'm going to start by asking this question. How critical is it to be clear on target audience for writers?
You know what? For writers, for small business owners, for everyone making a dollar, online, offline, it is vital. It is more than vital. It's the difference between you being able to sell more effortlessly or sell at all and really kind of going uphill and having difficulty selling anything for that matter. So it really is so important. I was at a B&I meeting once and there was a chiropractor there. And every week he got up and asked, I'm Bob the chiropractor, and this week I'm looking for anyone with a spine. I mean,
widen the net.
You know, exactly right. Really, but that's what people think, right? They go, I don't want to narrow my net too much because I want the more people to hear my message, the better. Except that nobody hears it. He got a few laughs. But other than that, he never really got referrals. And I thought, oh my God, Bob is driving me mad. I need to talk to Bob. I said, Bob, humor me. What do you love to treat? What do you want to treat more of? He said, well, I treat all the different problems. I said, yes, I know you do. But I'm asking you, what could be one right now for the next 2 weeks? I'm not asking you to commit for this for life. Just for the next 2-3 weeks, play with one. I want to see the result change. And he said, okay, then I'd like to attract more people with whiplash. And I went, perfect. So I said, Bob, here's what I want you to do next week. You go to BNI, you get up and you say, I'm Bob the chiropractor, and this week I'm looking for anyone that has experienced whiplash in the last 6 months. He had 15 referrals.
Wow.
That's how vital it is. You cannot, it's way better for someone to be a big fish in a small pond than a small fish in a big pond. Hands down.
Yeah. I just read a quote yesterday. When you try to be everything to everybody, you end up being nothing to anybody.
Correct. It's exactly it. And a lot of the time when I talk about branding and I actually say everything that I've showed you and I've shared with you, the 3 ingredients and all that, none of that will work unless you're very clear about who who you're meant to help and what their main problems are. And you need to be very aware. You can't just say, like, you see, anyone that has experienced whiplash in the last 6 months, he's talking about the problem. And that's the key. People don't connect with the utopia side of things. Which means they don't connect with the solution until you have grabbed them with the problem. So if you say, I know your problem, I know where it hurts right here, ow, ow, then you go, I happen to know the solution for that. But until you go, is this where it hurts? People don't listen.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because I find a lot of small businesses, that's what their problem is. Who's your audience? Oh, anybody that walks down the street.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I hear that all the time. I go speak at VBN or BNI, and as I'm listening to their little introduction, their little 30-second, I will say that out of 30 people, I will hear 1 or 2 that are effective. The rest, they're not.
It's incredible.
And I think that's really important for writers too. I think a lot of writers just that kind of goes over their heads. That you still have to identify who your market is, because not everybody's going to read your kind of book. Exactly.
And I know I hang out with a lot of authors, and incredible people, by the way. My business partner is an author. I'm an author myself, but she's written the majority of that particular chapter. But it's not just about your audience for all of the books that let's say you write one genre of book. But each book has to have a particular target market, a particular niche for the book. Now, I know some of my good friends they have movies out of their book series. So, but they're like, for example, teen, I don't know what the genre would be, but teen, I guess, what is that called? I don't want to.
Fantasy?
Like, what would be... Oh, Margarita, help me. Teen anyways. Well, let's just call it like that. Teen fiction. Well, that doesn't mean that it's all of what you're going to write is going to be that. If it is, great. Then you've got pretty much one target market for your series of book. But if you don't, I know people, Elizabeth Gilbert, for example, has many different types of books out there. But each type of book requires their niche, the niche for the book itself. And then, of course, you are the brand. As an author, you are the brand. So you have to be very clear about what you stand for, what you're willing or not willing to do to get from here to there, what your non-negotiables are. That's all part of branding. See, a lot of people think branding is a book cover, a logo, or a website.
Yeah, just like the books behind me. That's a
right.
type of branding, but each one of those books is different. One's on e-marketing, one's on leadership, one's on networking, one's on branding. So they're all different markets.
They're all different markets. They're all coming from different brands. An author has his own brand, and then the books that the author writes has its own angle on the brand, and then it has its own target market for each branches. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. So as an umbrella, so then what's the importance of a mission and vision for an author?
Okay, so a lot of people think of a mission as a mission statement. And mission statements are not effective. They're not effective for small business owners, for big corporations. They're not effective for authors. They're not effective for anyone. Because mission statements are really boring. Mm-hmm. Nobody remembers them. This is what they sound like, right? So I describe it in a completely different way. And I've ruffled feathers a little bit in my industry with explaining it this way. But, I'm a gal that likes to say it like it is and keep it simple. A mission is nothing more than how you want to leave people feeling. That's it. How do you want to leave people feeling as a brand, as an author? How do you want to leave people feeling? One word, one sound, it could be one phrase, but it can't be blah, 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 and we are going to blah, 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 blah. No. That's why I say remove the word statement out of mission statement. Mm-hmm. I don't care for people to have a mission. I want them to be on a mission. And if your mission is to leave people feeling in love, on fire, then that's your mission. And everything you write, everything you do will deliver on that somehow. My mission is to create holy shit moments. That's my lingo. I mean,
I love
don't.
that.
I do, and I write it like this everywhere. I say it. It means I want to impact. I want to create high impact, and I want to leave people feeling on fire and unstoppable. But in my lingo, it's I want to create holy shit moments. So everything I do, from what I write, whether it's a blog post, whether it's a book, whether it's a speaking gig, will that opportunity allow me to create a holy shit moment? If yes, then I say yes, because then it's about, aligning with my mission. But, I work with large corporate companies and small business owners. And if I say, tell me what your mission is, no one, not even the companies that have a very clear mission that's written on their website, nobody's able to actually tell me what it is and what the heck it means. So let's keep it simple and make it how we want to leave people feeling.
Yeah, well, exactly. You see so many, like, our mission is to boil the ocean. That's what it feels like, at least.
I know.
It would help you even write, though, even having that perspective of knowing what your mission is, meaning the feeling you want to leave someone with, that could influence before you even pick up the pen or the keyboard. Because if you're aware of that, if you're conscious of that is my mission, that's what I'm about. That's right. The voice that all these words are trying to carry. Mm-hmm. That's what I need to convey somehow.
And for me, it keeps me focused on what's important. Mm. And people think, often people say, hey, Isabelle, I've got 2 businesses that I run, or I'm writing 2 books. And is it a different mission for the different products or for the different companies? And most often, if you are the common denominator out of the 2, then it doesn't matter if I work at Shell. It doesn't matter if I work at McDonald's. I'm still Isabelle, and Isabelle will always stand for creating holy shit moments. So I tend to, there's so many other pieces of branding that has to be, what's the word I'm looking for again? What is going on with me? There's so many pieces of branding that can be related to the product itself. Mm-hmm. Usually the vision, the mission, and the promise, usually these 3 branding ingredients are related, are stuck to me, not to my product, not to my offering. It follows me wherever I go, like a little ray of sunshine.
So how do you differentiate between, say, the personal brand, as that kind of reflected, and the brand that you're trying to convey? Like, do you differentiate them? What's your perception on that? Okay, so it's funny that you say all that. You said all the right words in that is about to invite what I'm going to say here. So I just want to explain what branding is in a sentence or 2, and then that'll make a lot more sense. So branding is not a logo, it's not a website, it's not a book, although all those items are really important to a brand, right? But branding is how people feel when they experience you or when they experience your product or service. It's and at the end of the day, the goal is for you, your brand, and the perception of your brand to be aligned. But ultimately, if you're not clear about what you want to communicate as a brand, then other people will clarify that for you, right? They're going to perceive you in one way, and you're going to become that. A lot of, if you think you're pink and the world sees you as blue, well, you lose because the world wins. Unless you continually work at aligning what you are, who you are, with the perception of everyone, then, and that's my goal as a brand architect, is to really make sure that when I work with people, whether they're authors or whether they're solopreneurs, whether they're large companies, my goal is to study the perception and to study what truly is and to realign that as best as possible. And there is no difference between, your brand is your brand, you is you. And that's the difference between
Jody's book and John's book, if they spoke the exact, if the books were the same subject, well, you would buy Jody's book versus John's book because you believe in Jody's lingo. You believe like there's an energy pull there that makes you go, oh, no. I'm going to buy Jody's book because I like the way Jody communicates this part here. That connects with me. That's what branding is all about. And it's not about having the whole world connect with what you do. It's having the right people who believe in what you believe connect with you.
So when in an author's career should he or she start thinking about branding? Should it be at the beginning when you just go, oh my goodness, I'm going to be a writer, or after there's some books kind of out there, or see again and again?
Yeah. So I'll tell you what, the brand is being established whether you know it or not, is what I'm saying. So the sooner you can actually be conscious about it, the better. It's never too late. Companies rebrand all the time, and that doesn't mean they just change their logo. It means they now believe in something different, or they want to communicate something differently to attract a better audience. But whether you are aware of your brand or not, people experience you in a certain way. For example, I have a yoga teacher. This woman does not keep her word 100% of the time. So no matter what she says to me, oh, I'll send you this later, or oh, I'll Facebook you later to ask you this, and 100. And I've known her for years. She has never, ever, ever delivered anything out of what she's ever said.
It's consistent anyway, like McDonald's.
She's very consistent. Now, I'm sure she's not thinking, I want my brand to stand for not walking my dog. Of course not. Oh, she doesn't get up in the morning going, another day that I won't walk my dog. But my perception of her brand, which is her personality, her everything, that's what a brand is that she does not walk her talk. She might not know that, and she's certainly not aware of it. But I am, and if I'm aware of it, then a lot of people around her, chances are, see, this is another thing about branding. How you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yeah, I always say that too.
Right? So to me, she's, she doesn't walk her talk with me. I know that 98% of her life, she probably does the same thing with everybody else. Now, that's my perception of her brand. And between her reality and my reality, which one wins, you think?
Market. Yeah. So you're saying that the timeline would be you're always branding, so the sooner the better. Like consciously.
Always branding, exactly. And the sooner you're conscious about it, I stand for not working. I stand for doubling my revenue without doubling my workload. That is what I stand for, let's say, right? And everything I talk about is around efficiency, doubling revenue without doubling workload. Well, everything I do, everything I'll align with, I will make sure that it's in alignment with that. And at that point, it's much easier to decipher an opportunity to a distraction because, I meet a lot of people who they're bombarded always by amazing opportunities, and they're having difficulty figure out what's a priority and what is the bright, shiny object. And I say to them, you're just unclear about your brand right now. You're having a blip of unclarity, and you might also be unclear about what your year goals are and what your core plan is. Because when you're clear about what you need to accomplish this year, and you broke it down to what I'm going to accomplish this quarter, that way you break it down to this week. What is important for me this week? And then you know that, well, if this is important for me this week, then this is important to me today. Then if an opportunity arises, like when people say, Isabelle, I've got a great opportunity for you. Of course, I listen, but I don't listen with a yes in my mind right away. I listen with a filter of, does this fit my brand? Does it fit where my brand is going? And does it fit my quarter? Am I like, and maybe it's a great opportunity, but maybe it's for Q4. Maybe it's not for now, right? So you're right when you say earlier the better, But don't think that what you do branding wise, visual or non-visual, so I call that identity wise or experiential wise. So there's two sides to branding. Don't think that there's a limit, there's a deadline. Branding is an everyday thing. How I answer the phone, how I reply to emails. Like, I stand for momentum. My brand promise is clarity, pivotal shifts, and momentum. Momentum is a big thing. Clarity is a big thing. It's what I promise. When I write an email, I always write an email with the perspective of, I want to create a holy shit moment, and I need to deliver clarity, pivotal shifts, and momentum. So how am I going to write that email? So I type, and then you're never going to get an email from me that says, get back to me with a date whenever it feels right for you. Like, I go, I'm available these 4 dates. Would that work for you? I know that it might not work for them, but it's momentum. They only have their next step is to check their calendar and get back to me, as opposed to possibly kind of think about when that could be. You see, like, so my personality is aligned with my actions, and that is all aligned with how I want to be in the world, which means how I want to be perceived in the world.
I think that's a really good point. Being authentic and being who you want to be, because if you're not, then it comes across as false. But when you are, and when you're clear about that, it makes it so much easier for your audience to connect with you. Wouldn't you say so?
Absolutely. And I'm very clear as an individual. I came out of my mom's belly clear, but I'm also, when I'm unclear, I'm clearly unclear, and I'm not shy to say, I don't know. So I stand for authenticity in the moment. If I'm mad, you will know. If I'm happy, you will know. I'm very transparent. If I'm clear about something and I know and I have a great recommendation, I'll give it to you. If I have a reservation about something, I'll tell you. I sleep much better that way. This is just me, right? It doesn't have to be everybody, but it's me.
It made me think of, the clarity of a brand. Even as I'm listening to you, I mean, you could take that and transfer it to the development of characters, because the branding of a character, the clarity of that certainty that you have, and the integrity of this is who you see, this is who I am, and I'm going to be very clear on that.
That's right.
You can literally design characters around the clarity of the brand. So, what's the brand of this child? She's 14, and she's, you can literally apply that to character development if you chose to.
And that is how they do it. That is precisely how they do it, right? Like, absolutely. And even to further that thought, I'm delivering a TED Talk in May, and writing a TED Talk is wow. That's a whole different Oprah show for sure. But, I know that I want to provide holy shit moments, and I deliver clarity, pivotal shifts, and momentum. So everything I do has to deliver that, including this TED Talk. So as I'm being coached by the TEDx Federation or the TEDx organization, they have feedback for me. Some feedback is brilliant. I go, oh my God, this adds to my mission. It adds to who I am. Some other feedback, I have to go, actually, no, that doesn't fit. Here's why. But I know what to say why to, because I know what I stand for. And that does not work. That is a categorical no to me. That's a deal breaker. And so everything I do aligns with that. And I'll tell you, talk about, I'm used to talking for 90 minutes. I mean, 90 minutes is a piece of cake. A whole day, even better. 14 minutes. That is the challenge of my life. Yeah. It's true. To have everything intelligently plotted, right? And intelligently delivered, where there's stories, you guys are all writers, so you understand. I'm not. So to me, this is quite the challenge. But my mission, my brand promise has kept me sane through this process, because it's my beacon. It's my true north.
So when you're, just one question, if you're to create some items or some things, say for visual branding, once you know your brand, so you've developed it, you've applied these ideas to personalize it, I am my brand, and you've established it, you're clear. Yep. What are some things that an author could do in terms of, say, visual brand or other elements of taking that personification into, say, items or peripherals or ways to put it out there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a merchandise kind of girl. I really like merchandising. So, like for example, I'm in the process of designing a deck of cards right now of all of our Leap Zone principles. We're about to launch into doing retreats. And so again, clarity, pivotal shifts, and momentum. And our values, there's fun in our values. So designing items that allow you to deliver on your brand DNA, this is what I call promise, values, vision, mission, all of that, I call that the brand DNA. Once you're clear about your DNA, oh my God, it becomes so much fun to even create titles and subtitles and what goes into the first and second page of our book. Maybe we want to do something special there. And I don't mean, special as in, I don't have the proper term for authors and books, but how you thank people at the beginning. But sometimes maybe you want to do something completely out there in the book itself because of what you stand for and what you want to do. And then of course it extends to, for example, we have a tool called iPilot. And iPilot is an online tool that helps small business owners keep track of where they're at in their quarter, where they're at in their year plan, what their brand foundation is, so that they get reminded of that all the time. Now, I created that tool selfishly for me, because as a coach, I'm working with small business owners all the time, and I never knew. I also have to go into my Infusionsoft, to kind of go see, where is Wendy at in her quarter? What's her brand foundation again? And so I was always looking in it felt like shenanigans, to always have that information at my fingertips. So I thought, I'm just going to create an online tool to help me have all of that information in front of me at all times when I speak to a client. And that would never have come up as a great, and now I can monetize that idea, but that would never have come up had I not been clear of what I stand for. And then the three most important questions, once you're clear about what you stand for, I call that the Leap Zone elevator process. And that's what we go through with our clients. But we look at, that's the DNA. That is, there's an elastic around that and around us. And as the moment we go a little too far from that DNA, the gravity pulls us back from the elastic. Sorry, I went off screen here. And then what the three questions we ask all the time are, what's going well, what is not going well, and what is missing to be within a foot of this energetic field, which is my brand DNA. So we have sheets where we help our clients with what's going well, what's not going well, what's missing, and what needs to be elevated in order to really align with what we believe in, whether we're an author or whether we're, working at McDonald's. I mean, we all have a life. We all want to elevate what we do. We all want to create more impact in the world. So I like to think that, but I'd like to think that. And so, yeah, I imagine that where I'm always inventing. See, innovations come and ideas, book ideas. They don't just come out of thin air. They come out of frustration, or you just look at something, and because branding is all about the experience. So as I experience a restaurant, a hotel, a flight, waiting for a flight, waiting at a store, in my head, I'm always going, oh my God, they could be doing such a better job. If only they did this, I mean, the world would be such a better place, right? Sometimes I have to tone myself down here because I'd be on all the time.
We're getting close to the end of the time. So I have one last question for you. Okay. What is the fastest and easiest way to make your branding efforts convert to money in the bank?
Okay, so I will answer that in a very succinct way. Know what you stand for. Know exactly what problems you solve, what problem your product, your book, your service will solve. Understand who absolutely wants and desires that solution. I didn't say need. People don't buy what they need. They buy what they want. Get in there with what they want, then do whatever you want. So make sure that you understand the problem, that you have a great solution for it, and make sure that you know exactly who desires and want to find this solution. That truly other than obviously working it through. And I would say don't figure that out on your own, because when you're in the frame, you can't see the picture. I don't even brand my own self visually and experientially. I do it with coaches, because when you're in the frame, you can't see the picture.
Absolutely fantastic. So Wade, can you give us a wrap up, please?
Well, to me, I would like to talk about this for another half hour, because my mind.
I can come back. I'll come back.
So I get more ideas, but we sort of commit to our half hour to value everyone else's time and give it to them quick. So I really appreciate your time. And for those of you who are watching this as a replay, you may watch this here on Blab on a replay or on our YouTube channel. Just look below the video, and you'll see links to content from Author Success Field, and of course, like us on Facebook, and if your Twitter feed, you can find us. So thanks for your time, everyone, and I really thank you. And that was excellent. Just loved your comments, and if anyone else has anything to say, go ahead.
Really enjoyed it. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're so welcome. My pleasure. Anytime.
And don't forget, the Authors Cafe is every Monday morning, 10 a.m. So far, Pacific Standard Time, so I'll say just Pacific. And we'll stop the recording now.